Hi, I'm Christian Boutwell. I'm the Vice Chair of the Recreation Committee, and I'll be giving you a brief presentation on Article 10F, our request for appropriation for Lincoln Park Field Number 2 renovation. The Recreation Committee, in collaboration with the Recreation and Community Programs Department, requests a total appropriation of $1,810,000, comprising $1,145,000 from CPA funds and $665,000 from the general fund for the end-of-life renovation of Lincoln Park Field Number 2 in fiscal year 2025. On the advice of the Community Preservation Committee, Town Council, the Town Manager, and the Finance Department, the surface carpet of an artificial turf system is not eligible for CPA funding, which is why the funding request for this project is split between CPA funds and non-CPA funds. This type of split funding approach has been used for similar athletic field projects in Lexington, including the Lincoln Field Number 1 renovation, which was approved at last year's annual town meeting, the Center Track Field project in 2020, the Lincoln Field Number 3 renovation in 2016, the Lincoln Field Number 2 renovation in 2015, and the Lincoln Field Number 1 renovation in that same year. The estimated project costs for this project include $89,500 for design and engineering, $51,500 for project management, $1,517,000 for construction, and $152,000 in contingency, for a total of $1,810,000. That will be split between $1,145,000 from CPA funds and $665,000 from the general fund. There are several rationale for this project. Lincoln Field Number 2 was renovated in 2015 with an expected lifespan of approximately 10 years. Annual inspection indicates that the field is wearing as anticipated. Lexington currently operates at a substantial deficit in available rectangle field hours relative to the demand in the community, and the anticipated Lexington High School building project is projected to make the problem acutely worse from approximately 2026 through 2030. This project is phase 2 of our 3-phase plan to complete this end-of-life field renovation cycle at Lincoln Park prior to losing fields during the LHS project. In 2019, Recreation was asked to formally quantify athletic field needs in Lexington, and funding was approved at 2020 annual town meeting to hire an external consultant to conduct a comprehensive analysis of field supply and demand in town. In 2022, the consultant, Weston and Sampson, provided the results of their comprehensive analysis, including documentation of field demand, field supply, and options to address the supply deficiencies they identified. That complete report is available under the Master Planning and Assessment tab at the Recreation and Community Programs website under the capital projects. Briefly, the study evaluated all athletic sites in Lexington, including our effective rectangle field inventory of 15 natural grass rectangle fields and 4 synthetic turf rectangle fields. According to the study, this field inventory can optimally support 21,600 hours of use per year, but given the high demand in town, we're currently permitting it for 27,700 hours per year because of the overwhelming demand for field space. In conclusion, Lexington operates at a field deficit equivalent to approximately 8 large rectangle fields. The LHS building project laydown area is currently anticipated to impact most of the fields at the Center Recreation Complex from about 2026 through 2030. The anticipated Center Rec field closures are shown at right in the yellow hashed marks and include the varsity softball field, the varsity baseball field, an overlay rectangle field that we use in the combined outfields of those two during the fall seasons, the Harold Crum football field, the junior varsity baseball field, an overlay field that we put in the outfield of junior varsity field and into the Harold Crum football field, the Worthen Road practice field, and the Fitzgerald Little League baseball field. These center rec complex field closures will make the existing rectangle field deficit worse by eliminating a large number of rectangle field hours and will profoundly impact the operations of all field users in town. We must ensure that the optimal use of the fields at Lincoln Park is undertaken to at least partially mitigate this addition to the existing rectangle field deficit. To optimize the use of Lincoln Field, Recreation developed the following plan. In phase 1, we sought funding in fiscal year 2025 for Lincoln Field number 1 renovation and Lincoln Field number 1 and Field number 3 installation of athletic lighting. That request was made last year at annual town meeting in Article 10I, and funding was approved, and that project is currently out to bid. In phase 2, we request an appropriation in fiscal year 2025 through this article, 10F, for the renovation of Lincoln Field number 2. And next year, we will request an appropriation in fiscal year 2026 for the renovation of Lincoln Field number 3, thus completing this end-of-life renovation cycle. In considering athletic field materials, the Recreation Committee and the Recreation and Community Programs Department must balance multiple factors. And to assist us with that, in 2023, we convened a Lincoln Field working group comprising town staff from Conservation, Health, Department of Public Works, and Sustainability, as well as the chairs and other members from the Sustainable Lexington Committee and the Board of Health. The core materials parameters that the working group considered included athletic operations. How do the materials hand up to weather resistance, surface stability or footing, and durability in the face of the heavy usage that we put on them in Lexington? Environmental health. How do the materials impact the waste stream, the wetlands in the community? How do they impact sustainability? Human health. What are the possible risks from heavy metals, PFAS, allergens, but also what are the risks to local fitness by having these material options? Fiscal impact. What are the costs of installation? What are the costs of maintenance? Is there additional staffing required or additional or new equipment required? And site-specific factors. Here for Lincoln Park, it's built on a landfill. How does that play a role in choosing materials? And also, what about the surrounding environment? And finally, the town field inventory. How do these materials choices impact our goal of reducing field deficiencies? How do they impact our ability to balance grass fields and turf fields in town? After evaluating these factors, and considering the pros and cons of various materials, the working group reached a consensus that a field system composed of an artificial surface carpet and an organic infill material represented the best compromise solution. This type of field is currently in use at numerous locations regionally, including towns within the Middlesex 12 High School Athletics League and at the Minuteman Regional High School. The working group developed specific language to be included in the project bid documents to address issues such as reducing the discard of materials, establishing a chain of custody of materials that must be discarded, and doing materials testing for chemicals and elements of concern, including PFAS. The working group consensus statement will be included in the materials for this article posted on the town meeting website and can also be found at this link. If town meeting approves this appropriation request, an estimated timeline for the project will be July 2024, the funds would be released. Summer of 2024, design and engineering. Fall 2024, the Recreation Committee reviews and approves the project design. Early in 2025, the project would go out to public bid. June of 2025, after the high school athletic season, field number 2 would be closed and the project would begin. And in September of 25, prior to the start of the high school season, field number 2 would reopen. The anticipated renovation of field number 2 has appeared annually in the Recreation 5-year capital plan for the past 4 years, and as such has been included and discussed for multiple years in the annual town budget review process with the town manager's office and the finance department, capital expenditures committee, appropriation committee, and select board, and in this funding request year with the community preservation committee. This field number 2 renovation is the second phase in our effort to optimize the use of the fields at Lincoln Park and to complete this renovation cycle prior to LHS associated field closures so as not to further exacerbate the anticipated field losses. The use of an artificial carpet with an organic infill represents a considered and collaborative compromise solution that balances the many trade-offs at play. We ask for your continued support of the capital investment necessary to maintain these core fields at Lincoln Park that support the health and well-being of so many residents of Lexington. Thank you.